My name's Cliff Weiner. I'm president of the POA. Thank you for coming tonight and spending some time with us. Sorry for the delay, but because we live stream our meetings, we need a hotspot in order to get it out on to the airwaves. So we're up and running. So first on our agenda is the pledge to the flag, and then remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. Next is minutes from our last meeting from our secretary, Reb Benson. Reb?
All right. Thanks, Cliff. Good evening, everybody. So what we're trying to do is just sort of cover some of the highlights of the minutes from last month's meeting. So I just want to address a few points, and we usually, our meetings have some opening things, some announcements and whatnot. In this case, there's a couple announcements that I did want to bring up. One of them was that Cliff presented the Hall of Fame plaque to Kay Torname on behalf of Sal, stating Sal was one of the POA board for even before he had gotten on there 12 years ago, and that Sal was a great friend and one of the hardest workers, always looking forward to the residents' rights. Obviously, the award was given to Kay because of Sal had passed away. Deb said that there had been over 1,000 views on the website already from the September 15th meeting that we had at Everglades on the Coleman prison guard issues that are going on down there. Then the other part that I wanted to cover was our speaker. We had Mr. Joey Hooten, the Sumter County property appraiser, along with staff members Shauna Jordan and Matthew Hall. Mr. Hooten mentioned that he's been the county appraiser for over 10 years. He was elected in 2012, stating that they are here to serve the residents and help educate people on how appraising is done. He talked about two types of appraisers: a fee appraiser, which usually ensures that the buyer is protected regarding property value, i.e. the highest for the best use. And then there's the mass appraiser, focus on the average based on previous year, and that's what the county appraisers go by. They throw out the highs and the lows and average out the middle area. Sales have been unprecedented in recent years, and the county has done a good job of appraising. It's been a 3 to 5% growth rate, with a little slowdown just happening this year. Level of assessment, or LOA as they called it, was averaging 93% over the last 10 years. So how they assess has come up at about the 93% level. That's the 10th lowest of 67 counties in Florida, and the lowest in the 5 surrounding counties. If it goes less than 90%, Mr. Hooten said the state will take over appraising. Ms. Jordan then discussed the website, homestead, portability, trim notice, and the things that they cannot do. So she went over to the website, so if you ever want to go there, it's www.sumterpa.com, and has all property information, owners, sales, maps, etc. Homestead exemption, it is based on January 1st of each year. You must apply, have a Florida driver's license or ID, and a Florida registered vehicle. And you cannot have an out-of-state exemption. Portability, which is called Save Our Home, can be a valuable asset if and when selling and buying another home in Florida to ensure you keep your tax bill as low as possible. If any questions, please contact the appraiser's office. The trim notice, which is really called the truth and millage rate, is sent out each August per Florida statutes. Must file within 25 days if you're looking for an adjustment to the rates they are quoting in there for you. In 2022, out of 92,000 parcels, 58 filed for an adjustment. 2 of those were home sites, the rest were commercial. Cannot change the permit finals and the closing dates. Those are set. They can't change those dates. Some of the questions asked that were pertinent: is market value based on comparables and year built? Joey said yes, categorized by like properties and by the year. I got homestead with previous and current home. Wonder if I missed getting portability. Answer, Shauna said, probably not. You would have seen that if it did apply. How do you address outliers in the appraisal process? Matthew said that there are only a few of those, and they do a good job of getting it right related to mass appraised value. So as a follow-up question was, then why, based on the 2022 numbers on the website, some outlier properties, such as Mark Morris's 4,800 square foot house, was 840,640 market value, but only a 668,250 taxable value, and a couple others that were that way, and they did not have the answer for those. Said would have to contact the office to figure that out, and that was basically about it.
Thank you, Rep. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Just for your information, on Thursday, we have a meeting with Joey Hooton to ask the questions that we didn't get to ask at our meeting. The information on the questions we get will be in our bulletin that'll come out next month. So hopefully we're going to get some answers, because we still got a whole bunch of questions. Next is our treasurer's report from our treasurer, Ash Moa.
For the month of September, we had revenue of $8,901.38 and expenditure of $15,630.10, leaving a negative cash flow of $6,728.72. Our operating account balance is $93,465.77. And just a note, after a string of negative months, I'm hoping October will be positive, so next month I will have a positive report.
Thank you, Ash. Membership report from our membership chairman, Ken Noddle. Where is he? I don't know if he has anything to say. He just got back after being gone for a couple months.
Thank you. It's nice to see a crowd here tonight, but you know, as you hear these numbers for our revenue and things, membership is what drives and supports our bulletin being passed out to everybody. So we appreciate everybody that has renewed their membership and anybody that you can reach out to for new members. We're starting to get quite a few people that are south of 44 that are interested in joining, because unfortunately they have some issues down there that they would like for us to address. So the POA has for numerous years tried to address residents' concerns, and the way that we could do it and keep you informed is to make sure that we have the revenue coming in to support our bulletin. So we thank you for that.
Thank you, Ken. I make it a point at our meetings, because I think it's important that you guys know the people who represent you on different boards or committees in the villages. So at the back, our secretary is on the Amenity Authority Committee. Jim Vaccaro's here. Raise your hand, Jim, who's also on the AAC. Dan Warren's on NSCUD. Mark Hayes is a District 4 supervisor. I am also a District 4 supervisor. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did, but okay. Thank you guys for coming. Next is, we have two candidates that are running for Lady Lake Council Commissioners. So I have asked them, because their election is this year in November, and they don't get a whole lot of chance to let the residents that live, that they're going to vote for them, know. Since we live streamed this meeting, they'll be able to go look at it. So they're here. I'm going to give them each 5 minutes to talk. So first is Mike Sage. Mike? You can, yeah, sure.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Sage, and I'm a candidate. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, all right. Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Sage, and I'm a candidate for Lady Lake Town Commissioner for Ward 5. Okay. This better? Okay, sorry. Maybe I could sing a song. No. My name is Mike Sage, and I'm running for Lady Lake Town Commissioner for Ward 5. Ward 5 is contained in the historic side of the Villages. I originally came to the historic side of the Villages in 1986 with my in-laws. They moved in when it was called Orange Blossom Gardens. And there was a man named Harold Schwartz who used to knock on their door and wanted to know if everything was okay. And then I bought a house and used it in the 90s for a vacation home over on Jason, again in the historic side. I retired from AT&T in '06, and now I reside on West Boone. Now, this election concerns just those people that live in Lady Lake in Ward 5. If you don't live in Ward 5, you have no dog in this fight, okay? Just as a show of hands here, is there anybody here that lives in Ward 5? Okay, we have a few. Lady Lake is set up with 5 ward commissioners, okay? And you were elected ward commissioner, and you get 1/5 of a vote at the meeting. The town government, the day-to-day government, is run by a town manager, and he takes care of the day-to-day business. And the town commissioners make the decision. Now, when we're elected on November 20th, we will be sworn in, and the town commissioners elect, they don't elect, they appoint a mayor. The mayor of the town is not an elected position, okay? And in the charter of the town, the mayor runs the commission meetings and signs documents for the town, okay? So it's the commissioners that have, each one has 1/5 of the vote. Now, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me. I am currently owner and operator of Silver Springs Kayaking. I give guided tours down the Silver River. I worked for AT&T for 34 years, and I was on the Board of Finance in my small town in Burlington, Connecticut, so I have a background in government and running government. I have 2 daughters and 4 grandkids. I will support no increase in property tax, a strong police department, and I'm going to continue what the current board commissioners are doing, and that's in pursuit of hiring 6 more police officers. I'm also for a road management program that keeps an eye on our roads so that they're repaved on a regular basis so that we don't end up with playing catch up. People have asked me why I'm running. Always a good question. Why would you put yourself in the, with all of this work? I had a matter coming in front of the commissioners last spring. So I called my commissioner to speak to him about this matter, and he did not return my calls. I called the other commissioners. They did return my calls. They returned my calls promptly. And I said, how come my commissioner did not return my calls? He said, well, I don't know, but we do get calls from Ward 5 of calls that go unanswered. Now, I have since spoken to all of the other commissioners, and they do receive calls from Ward 5. I want to be that commissioner that is there for all of Ward 5. Okay, whether you are a Republican, a Democrat, a renter, a property owner, or don't vote. If you reside in Ward 5, I'm going to be there for you, and I'm going to work hard for you. I've been part of the historic side community for over 35 years, and I love the historic side. All of the villages is beautiful. I don't mean to say your area is not, but I love the historic side of the villages. And I'm going to work hard for the historic side of the villages. I am going to answer every call, okay? I'm already working hard for the historic side, for their vote. I have knocked on every single door in Ward 5. I have reached out to every single voter, over 2,000 voters, have either shook my hand or I left a flyer in their door. When I'm elected, when they call me, I'm going to answer the phone. If I can't answer the phone, I will get back to them via text, and I will take their matter to town hall and see if I can solve it. And that's the reason why I'm running. And I would appreciate your vote on November 7th. I want you to know that I looked up the statistics, and 300 of 2,000 people, voters, voted in Ward 5, okay, in the last off-year election. So please get out there and vote. If you want change, you have to vote. And I thank you for your vote.
Thank you. I gave you a little extra time, so Jim's up, and I'll give you the same amount of time, Jim. Trying to be fair. And the only reason we're doing this is we will have a candidate night next July. We'll actually have 2 of them for the Sumter County and district boards that'll be having people. I just wanted to give these gentlemen their fair share and their chance to make their pitch.
My name is Jim Yates. I am a resident of the village of Lady Lake for the past 17 years. I'm originally from the western suburbs of Chicago. My father was an architect and home builder, and he put me with every contractor from surveyor to roofer. In 1970, I received an honorable discharge from the United States Air Force. I was in a top secret program during the Cold War. I was hired at the Downers Grove Township Assessor's Office as a commercial appraiser in 1987, and 3 days later I became the computer department. I worked myself up to the chief deputy assessor and systems manager for the township. The assessor gave me opportunities to increase my knowledge on all aspects of properties. We had 50,000 parcels. I wrote databases to manage all parcel valuations. I represented the township at county hearings. I was appointed the commissioner in 2020 and been voted twice to be mayor by the town commission. Our Ward 5 is totally inside the historic side of the villages. I am the mayor of the entire town of Lady Lake. Our town is approximately 60% in the villages and 40% outside. My main focus has always been for the entire town. During my watch, a number of great things happened. I have been in talks with the Florida Department of Transportation to allow golf carts to cross 441 at multiple locations. They are agreeable but wanted to wait till the widening is complete next April. The commission received a petition from residents living south of the southern portion of our town wanting to become a golf cart community. I'm 100% for this, yet other commissioners opposed even the thought. And 2 of them lived in the village's portion, enjoying golf cart access to most everything they need. That still doesn't sit right with me. For those who have been around in 2017, when we had a Hurricane Irma that flooded the areas at the base of the golf cart bridge over 441, know the people at the historic side of the villages could not get their golf carts over the bridge. I was not on the town commission at that time, but I would have done my best to make some kind of an emergency pact with the Florida DOT or the Lake County authorities to allow golf carts to cross 441. There are many people who suffered on the historic side because their golf cart was their only means of transportation. Lake County wanted to give Rolling Acres and 3 other roads to our town. We turned that down because They need to be widened and improved. Our Public Works Department can maintain those roads once they are done. The town of Lady Lake has the lowest millage rate in the county. That is due to our ability to keep our costs down. We have great department directors and the best town manager who understands the necessity to keep a balanced budget, as we have for many years. The town of Lady Lake millage rate on your tax bill has not changed in the past 7 years. Knowing how the millage rate is calculated is one of my expertises from working at the assessor's office for many years. During my watch, on July 1st, we celebrated the town's first Independence Day fireworks at our Guava Street Sports Complex. This was a free event to residents and general public, and it cost absolutely nothing to the property owners of our town. Most of the funds came from the Orange Blossom Gardens Lions Club, which I am a member, and the first mayor to have joined the club since its beginning, more than 36 years ago. There were kids all over the playground. They were playing basketball, baseball. There were 10 food trucks, most of which sold out. It was the most successful event we've had so far in our town. During our watch, we opened Snooky Park and Walking Trail earlier this year. It has been a successful area for residents and guests alike. The approximately half-mile walking trail is wide enough for 4 to 6 to walk abreast and emergency equipment to get there through if needed. Had the park gone forward when it was originally planned, it would have cost nearly a third of what the final cost was. This is due to delayed decisions by some commissioners. Our park district our Parks and Rec director has a 5-year plan to build a recreation center in Snooky Park. This building will house rooms for inside events and outside stage for concert events. During my watch, our Guava Street community building, contrary to many of the commissioners, has actually become positive income for the first time. For the first time. I was the deciding vote on this issue. The town commission updated its ordinance dealing with the room rental rates. We established that Friday, Saturday, Sunday would be a 4-hour minimum at $20 an hour. While some groups had been meeting there for nearly free, they couldn't fund themselves and had to find other locations.
Jim, you need to wrap it up. You need to wrap it up. You need to wrap it up.
Okay. During my watch, I pushed to bring our town to up to date with social media and live stream broadcasting of our meetings. While I wanted 5 commissioners to do this, we only needed 3 to approve. This would go down to one of the best decisions the town has made. You may remember the demise of the Katy Bells and Spanish Springs apartments. During my watch, I stood strong against Spanish Springs, creating a website with SafeSpanishSprings.com, where over 1,000 residents signed up. The town of Lady Lake is going to be celebrating a centennial in 2025. I'm going to spearhead that. We've had reopened the farmers market and the Rolling Acres Sports Complex with a record attendance. The Easter eggs hunt with over 10,000 eggs, sponsored by the Kiwanis Club. I'm also a member of the Kiwanis Club. Both Kiwanis and the Lions Club do so much for a town. I found that I had to be a member of both. No one else on the commission is a member, and I found that sad.
Jim,
Okay.
You gotta wrap it up.
I am in this phone book. Mr. Sage is not in this phone book. I hope you can see that I am so into the town of Lady Lake. It is my hometown, and I want to see it prosper. I also want to see all the residents have fun. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. At the back tables, we got our friends from Suncool, Realty Execs, and Seniors versus Crime. I'm not going to say much about Seniors versus Crime today because I'm sure our speakers are, hopefully. But they do a great job. Please call them before you hire somebody to do something at your house so you don't get taken advantage of, especially if you're putting a pool in. That seems to be the big thing that's going around now. Starting in January, we will be having 4 meetings a year at Everglades Rec Center on the first Thursday of January, April, July, and October. There'll be more in our up-and-coming next couple of bulletins. Next Tuesday, a week from today, right across the hall, the room's on the other side, we are going to be having a meeting for anybody that might be interested in being a volunteer or being on the board of the POA. If you have any kind of interest, come and get some questions, have some coffee and donuts, and ask us any kind of questions. We'll try and give you all the information. As we are growing south of 44, place is getting bigger and bigger. We need some help. I'm getting really tired. So hopefully we'll have some people show up. Deb, you want to say something about Facebook? Okay.
Facebook is becoming a really important means for us to communicate with people. If you use Facebook, please like and follow the POA of the villages. All you have to do is put it in the address line. It'll take you right to our page. We're going to be posting events on there. We post when the bulletin is available. We are about to make a decision on going forward with a new website and new membership database management system. We'll be tying that into Facebook, and so we'll be able to post and keep you even more informed. This is a great way to share with your friends what's going on with the POA. We'd appreciate you taking a look at it. Thanks.
Thank you, Deb. For those of you who don't know, Deborah is the person that writes our bulletin and does a great job. As you know, our meetings are video recorded, so if you can't come, you can always watch it, or you can go on our website. For the candidates that are running, please tell the people that live in your district or your ward to go online and watch it, get the information that they didn't get here tonight. I'm not going to talk about the Vital of Life tonight because I know the Sumter County Sheriff is. But I do want to talk about the CHIRP program, which is being sponsored by Community Watch. At the AAC meeting last week, I believe they had 3 people that they found because of this. When you're walking at night, walking your dog, please, it's got a whistle on it. If you blow the whistle, they're going to hear it. Someone's going to come and save you. Please, we don't need to lose anybody. And please, when you walk at night and we're going away from daylight savings time, wear clothes that you can be seen. Don't wear black clothes when you're walking on our dark streets. Makes it extremely difficult to miss you. POAforus.org is our website. Okay. Next is our cash raffle. We give away 3 $30 prizes. Okay, Donna's got the money, and I got the tickets, and I did not draw them. First number, last 4 numbers, 2839. 2839.
Here. That's a long walk.
Mr. Warren.
I think I have to check your ticket. You should. Yeah.
3013. 3013. 2941. Mr. Okay. Next is, I believe, is our open forum. So we will entertain any questions that do not pertain to something that the sheriff's department can answer when they do their presentation. So if you have a question or an issue or something, raise your hand. If I don't have an answer, I will get you one. There's one right up here, and there's one in the back. I see so far. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this can.
Hold the mic close to you so we can hear you.
I don't know if this really pertains to this group, but I have a problem with the water around my house. And they already came to see it, and they blamed it on the residents, their irrigation, and that has nothing to do with it.
Well,
Where can I go?
I don't know. Who did you go to so far?
Well, first of all, before my year was ended, I called the builder. and
Home
he
warranty.
came-
Home warranty.
Yes, they came and saw it
Okay.
and said, yes, it does exist, but it's the fault of the irrigation. How can that be a problem with the irrigation? That's something with the building.
I can't answer that question because I don't know all of the facts. See me after the meeting and give me your phone number. I will see if I can find someone to help you. Yes, Gary.
Do I understand correctly that the AAC...
Please hold the microphone closer so we can hear you.
Do I understand correctly that the AAC was requested by the villages to contribute to the refurbishing of the golf cart bridge?
No. Well, well, how do I answer this? It was brought up at the AAC meeting, which was news to you and me both. I don't understand what it's all about, and we have some questions that we're going to be trying to get an answer to. I was completely shocked. That's the first time it's been brought up. I attend every AAC meeting. First time I've heard. Amenity Authority Committee, the ones that manage the amenity money north of 466. We will get an answer and we will put it in the bulletin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, thank you. Now it's time for our presentation, so I'm going to turn it over to Under Sheriff Breeden. He and Captain Siemer are here, and they're going to talk about all kinds of good things. Thank you guys for coming.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good, good. Glad to hear it. I'm going to try to remember to hold this thing close so y'all can hear me. Cliff, a while ago you had me at Donut, buddy, when you was talking about volunteer stuff. I stopped right there. So, hey, tonight I want to tell you a little bit about Sumter County Sheriff's Office, and then we're going to touch on some programs that we offer. Sumter County, oh, I'm sorry, got to stand in a certain area. Sumter County Sheriff's Office, 409 employees. We're responsible for covering 530 square miles of the county. I started in this job 33 years ago. Population of Sumter County was 30,000 people. As y'all can figure, it's a lot more than that now. Hold the mic close. See, I knew I'd fail. 2021, the population of Sumter County was 130,000. It's about 150 to 160,000 now. We also have the turnpike, waterways, and the interstate that comes through the county. So you can imagine the influx of people that come through here every day. So we see some needs for some programs. And what we've done, we've developed some of these programs, and it's called Sumter Safe. So what we're fixing to do is we're going to tell you about Sumter Safe program. We're going to go through it, answer some questions, tell you how to participate in them. Me and Captain Siemer is going to tag team some answers and some questions, show you about the programs, and we're also going to talk about scams, because you can figure the number one crime in the villages is scams and thefts of opportunity. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. But thank you. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Captain Siemer, who is y'all's village district commander, and we're going to move along from there and tell you about the programs. And also, the bags are in the back. If anybody did not get a bag on your way out, please stop and grab one.
Sounds good. Thank you, Under Sheriff Breeden. I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone. I'm Captain Siemer with the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. I'm your district supervisor here in the villages if you live in Sumter County. I'd like to talk about the non-traditional law enforcement programs that we offer. It's actually what we call is the SAFE program. And everybody knows what traditional law enforcement is. If you call 911, you'll get a deputy or a law enforcement officer at your house. If you're going a little too fast, you might get the red and blue lights in your rearview mirror and get pulled over. But we also do things that are non-traditional as well. All these programs that we offer are free programs to you guys in our county, And I'll tell you what, they absolutely save lives. So I'm happy to be able to come up here this evening and share them with you. First thing I'd like to talk about, it's a nice little pamphlet, and they have QR codes on the back of this pamphlet. You can scan them and actually fill out a packet with this if you participate in any of these programs. And what we'll do is we'll actually put those into your caution notes, or your notes that's assigned to your address. Anytime you call 911 at your residence, a screen will pop up, and in there are notes that the deputies can, when they're responding to your home, they can read to see what's in those notes. So if you're on any of the programs, they'll know you participate in them. The first one I'd like to talk about is the Vial of Life program. It comes with this vial. I need a sample from each one of you before you leave today. Just put it on the counter. I'm just kidding. I did that to a men's group one time. Half of them got out and started walking out. I'm like, I'm kidding, come back. That vial actually goes along with this form right here. And on the second page of this form, there's enough room for 2 people on it, on top and bottom. What we ask you to do is put any and all information you would like us to know about you if we come to your house for a medical emergency. If you had a heart attack or a stroke and you couldn't communicate with us, what kind of stuff would you like us to know about you? Maybe what kind of illnesses that you have, the medications you take, your doctor's information. Anything, if you have a person that lives in your house with a special needs, like maybe Alzheimer's or dementia, put that on there as well. And then you would take that form and you would tear it off, you would roll it up and you would place it inside of this file. Then you would take this file and you place it in your refrigerator. More importantly, put it in the refrigerator door, because if you put it in the refrigerator on the shelf, all the food leftovers will push it all the way to the back and it'll be very difficult for us to get to. Inside of here, there's a magnet that you could put on your refrigerator and a sticker that you could put on your front door. All of our first responders in our county to know to look for these stickers, so when they come to your house for a medical emergency, they'll know that you participated in the program. They could get that form and treat you much better than if they didn't know anything about you. You could also put things on there. If I go to the hospital, please call my son or daughter to let them know what's going on. And whatever your wishes are, just put it on that paperwork and place it inside that vial. The second program I'd like to talk to you guys about is the Peace of Mind program. The Peace of Mind program is designed for people who live alone, that have no problem living alone by themselves. They just need to be checked on once a day. If they ever fell or something like that, they wouldn't be able to get back on their feet, so we just check on them once a day. So what we ask you to do is you fill this out. We do ask you for a key holder or somebody in the neighborhood that could respond there if you don't call us. And then you just call us once a day and say, hey, I'm okay, and we'll check you off the list and we won't bother with you. We save probably at least 3 lives every year with this program. All of us law enforcement officers, Under Sheriff Pat Breeden, myself, we've all been to those calls where the neighbors' newspapers are piling up and the neighbor calls 911 and says, you know, my neighbor picks up their newspapers all the time, but now there's 3 of them there. And the time we get there, we find them on the floor of the house. And unfortunately, we are not built to lie on the floor without food and water for 3 days. And unfortunately, a lot of times people pass away, and we certainly do not want that to happen to you guys. I should have asked this question. How many people here live in Sumter County? Wow, quite a few. What about Marion County? Couple. And what about Lake County? Couple as well. Okay, Lake and Marion County has some similar programs, but you'll have to get with them to find out about them. Like the Vial of Life with us, Marion County has something called the File of Life. Lake County has the exact same program. Ours is better, just kidding. But exact same program. Our stickers are a little bit different. But the Peace of Mind program, I know Marion County has a similar program, but I'm not sure about Lake County, so you'd have to get a hold of them as well. We have about 100 people in this program right now, and we think it's just a fantastic program. Like I say, we go to probably at least 3 people's houses a year and potentially save their lives. So if you know anybody in your neighborhood that could benefit from any of these programs that didn't come tonight, please let us know, because we'd love to get these programs to them as well. Okay? Another program that we offer as well is our sheriff's office actually sent a handful of our deputies to school to learn how to make people's homes safer. So we offer a free home security inspection for your home. They'll come there and they'll check things like window locks, door locks, they'll check lighting, they'll talk about shrubbery, they'll talk about all kinds of interesting things. One of the most interesting things that I know that they do is the door that goes from your inside of your house into your garage. That is a fireproof hardened door. That's a very secure door. That's just like your front door is. They recommend to put a peephole in there. Everybody knows what a peephole is, right? Is you look out the little peephole and you can see a 180-degree view outside. If you ever thought that someone may have broken into your garage or started hearing some noises in your garage and you don't know what it is, you could lock that door instead of opening the door and exposing yourself to a potential danger. You could just lock that door and just look through the peephole to see if anybody's out there. And if there is, you could always call us. We'll come over there and take care of it. And I'll tell you guys a funny story that happened one time. We had a lady that lived alone, and she carried a revolver in her nightstand. I always hate telling stories because I'm afraid she's in the room. She's going to throw something at me. She woke up in the middle of the night, thought somebody was in her garage, so she grabbed that revolver, went to that door, and fired all 6 bullets through that door. She killed her car. She knocked the windows out of it and everything. We do not recommend you doing that. But the good thing for her now, she has 6 peepholes. She could just have to find which one that she could see through better. So we do offer the free home security inspection if you're interested in it. There's a number on this tri-fold piece of paper on the back. Just give us a call to tell us that you're interested in it. We do them Monday through Friday from the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. We'll try to make it as convenient as we can to schedule an appointment to come to your house to do this free home security inspection. One of the things that we take very serious at our sheriff's office are people with Alzheimer's and dementia. We understand the importance of if somebody wanders off, the importance of getting those folks back home to their loved ones is crucial. I mean, we will do everything that we possibly can. We will call in overtime deputies. We fly the helicopter, the drones. We call everybody and anybody that we possibly can to come help us. And so we had to do something. So one of the things that we did is we came up with a human scent preservation kit. Now, before I tell you what's inside of this box, I would like to tell you a little bit about the different types of canines that we have at our agency. We have shepherd dogs. Now, we have a shepherd dog on every shift, and those dogs are fantastic for what they're built for. They're built for if the road patrol, somebody runs from one of our deputies, we can get that dog there very quickly. We get that dog on the ground, and they run and they bite the bad guy. Now, however, unfortunately for those dogs, they can't pick different scents to look for. They only smell the freshest scent. And what we have found with people with Alzheimer's is if they wander off, it takes about 45 minutes or so before the loved one will actually call us. They'll check the house. They'll say, well, maybe he's down at the postal station. So they'll go down there and look, and they're not there. Then they'll go to the neighbor's house because he always likes going over there, or she likes going over there as well. Find out they're not there either. That's 45 minutes have passed by. Next thing you know, panic has set in. Well, somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia could get pretty far in 45 minutes or so. So we need to have a scent kit that we can actually track that kind of distance. So we also have bloodhounds at our agency. Bloodhounds, you can give them one scent and they'll know exactly who they're looking for. Historically, we would come to your house if your loved one wandered off, and we'd ask you for a dirty t-shirt or maybe take the pillowcase off the bed that person sleeps on, put it in a paper bag and present it to the dog, and the dog will go find the person they're looking for. Unfortunately, that is a contaminated scent. Us being in this room together, we have each other's scent on us, so that dog might smell 30 or 40 different people. Now, our canine handlers have ways to eliminate those scents and get to the person that they're looking for. But this is a great way to get one scent inside of a container to present to the dog, and I'm going to tell you about it right now. Inside, it comes with a double insulated glass jar that is sterile inside, so don't open this until you get ready to use it. It also comes with a sterile pad. What we ask you to do is take this sterile pad and have your loved one that has Alzheimer's or dementia and have them rub it all over their body and get as much scent on this as on both sides of it you possibly can, and then place it inside this jar. Then it comes with a sticker that goes on the front of it. We ask you to put the person's name on it, their age, the date you collected the scent. The reason being this is actually good for 7 years. And we do understand that some people with Alzheimer's or dementia could not do this on their own, and you would need to assist them. And if that's the case, it does come with a pair of latex gloves. We ask you to wear these and help them do that. But if you do, there's a spot on here that says the person who collected the scent. That way, when the canine handler gets this, he can look at it, and if your name is on there as well of helping, they go, well, there's a potential that there might be 2 people in here. And they have, like I said, they have ways to eliminate odors. Then you just place this inside of a pantry. And if your loved one ever goes missing, you just call us and let you know that we have one of these. And we will get the bloodhound out there as quickly as we possibly can. We have actually taken it one step further than that. We actually wrote a federal grant, got awarded of it. And we were only one of 5 counties in the United States that awarded this money for Alzheimer's stuff. So we took that money and we actually bought GPS watches, and they actually lock on the person's wrist. Now, why that's important is because we went from looking for people for 20 or 30 minutes, dropped it down to people being located within seconds. Because all you have to do is take your smartphone, and the smartphone is controlled by the loved one, and the sheriff's office can monitor as well. And if your loved one takes off, comes up missing, you just open the app, push the button, you'll know exactly where they're at, and then you can recover them. We've been doing this program a little over a year now, maybe closer to 2 years now, and it has actually taken our calls for service of going to look for people with Alzheimer's and actually have cut it in half. So it has been a fantastic program for us. And okay. Does everybody have our mobile app? We actually offer a free mobile app. Does anybody have it on their phone? Oh, you got to have a free mobile app. On there, there's a lot of really interesting stuff, like a lot of stuff about our sheriff's office. You can submit tips. You can see the sex offenders in the area. We actually have a 10 most wanted list as well. It'll be funny when we start talking about crime. Inmate searches. I don't know if anybody want to search an inmate, but you could do that. There's actually a feedback or a comment button on there as well. If you have an interaction with one of our law enforcement officers, you could hit that, and it'll actually go to our sheriff and also our undersheriff and work its way all the way down to whoever that supervisor that law enforcement officer is as well. There's another button on here as well. It's called the scam button, and we're going to talk about scams here in a little bit. But it actually has a scam button on there. So if you get something that you believe is possibly a scam, not if you are a victim of a scam, but if you get something, you go, oh, this is a scam, you can actually put that in there. It is actually vetted by our white collars crime detective, and once he vets it, he'll actually put it out there for everybody to read. We highly recommend you guys sitting down maybe once or twice a week and just kind of read through all the different types of scams that are going on to make yourself aware of it, because we do have a lot of scams that go on. Matter of fact, the 2 biggest problems that we have in our county, we do live in a very safe community, a very safe county. Our violent crime rate is almost nothing. However, the 2 biggest problems that we have is crimes of opportunity. That would be like leaving your car in the driveway with the doors unlocked all night. Unfortunately, people will come through the neighborhoods and they'll start trying door handles, and if they find a door unlocked, they'll rummage through it and take things like your keys and your sunglasses, your GPSs. If you leave a gun in the car and they find it, they're going to take the gun. And if you leave the keys in it, they will take your car for a ride. So that's a crime of opportunity. Other things would be like if you were down at the square somewhere in your golf cart, and you left your cell phone or your purse sitting in the golf cart, and you go off to dinner, somebody may walk by and pick it up and walk off with it. So you guys see what that is. The other biggest problem is, like I said, scams. If you didn't play the Nigerian lottery, you didn't win the Nigerian lottery. We have so many people come into the office go, I won, I can't believe that I won the lottery. All I have to do is pay the taxes. Some of the takeaways that I'm going to give you on that, and I know we're getting close to running out of time, is never give out your phone number or social security number. Never give out numbers. We have actually a campaign that's going on about that, no numbers campaign. And so don't give anybody any numbers over the phone. Other things you might get is you might get an email saying your Chase Bank has been compromised, and call this number. Never use the number that they provide, because they're providing you the number to the scammers. Do your own research, find the proper numbers, and call. If you get a phone call, I got one not too long ago. My credit card was compromised, and somebody bought $2,200 worth of hearing aids in North Carolina using my credit card. And I went, sure they did, and I hung up on them. I pulled my credit card out of my pocket, and I called the 866 number on the back and got with the fraud department. Yeah, they got into my credit card. But I wasn't going to take that chance. I wasn't going to talk to that person on the phone. So if you ever get anything that you think is not quite right, highly recommend before you do anything, I want you to call us. I want you to call your local law enforcement and go, hey, this is what's going on. This is what they want me to do. Does it sound right to you? And we will run it down the rabbit hole to find out if it's legitimate or not, so we just don't want you guys to get scammed. All right? But that's about all I have. I know the Undersheriff Pat Breeden here, he has a few things as well that he would like to talk about, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
And I'll talk about all that. Sumter County Sheriff's Office, just look it up in your app store, Sumter County Sheriff's Office, and you'll see one of our badges pop up, and just download that. How many of you use our Facebook app? Anybody use Facebook? That's the common response I get. Not a lot of people follow Facebook, but we put out a lot of stuff on Facebook also. We was talking about the app. The app has Sumter Scam Sting and some other stuff we've just added to it. What's one of the big topics right now? Human trafficking. We have a special division that is dedicated to investigating human trafficking. We have a button on our app that if you push that, if you want to remain anonymous or let us know something, if you see something suspicious that you think may be human trafficking related, that goes directly to our human trafficking investigators, and they will follow up on it. But if it's emergency, call 911, obviously. But if you just want to know something or put a thought on there, we have the human trafficking app. Another thing on there is community crime map. Whoever moved to an area and says, you know what, I wonder what the crime is in my area, or I wonder what goes on in this area as far as police activity, or I just wonder what the cops are doing today. I see some cop cars down here. You can also go on there, or our website, communitycrimemap.com, and it'll show you what law enforcement is doing in your neighborhood. It's got graphs, charts, all kind of fancy stuff that tells you what the crime rate is, the calls for service in that area, what kind of calls deputies are responding to. If you look at Bushnell, boy, it's red. It looks like it's crime Breeden. That's our county jail, so kind of ignore that. So, but that's our jail's bright red because a lot of stuff goes on there. So please, I urge you to use all these apps because they are free and they benefit you. Who's ever been riding down a road and said, oh man, I got hung up in a traffic crash? Well, our apps, we also send out alerts to tell you, hey, Buena Vista's closed. Find a different route. We'll update you how long it's going to be closed or when it opens back up, or if we're searching for somebody or missing person. Anything we got going on law enforcement activity-wise, we push out on our app and on Facebook. So please use all these. Couple other things, and I know I'm going fast because we only got so much time. We got a few cards and stuff that goes along with the Safe Sumter program, like this one. I'm deaf, hard of hearing. A lot of people drive that may be hard of hearing. They can put this sticker on the back window of their car. Deputies know that there's somebody in that vehicle that may have a hearing issue. They can use this card, and it's basically they can just point to what their issue is, or the deputy can point to it and tell them what they need. So put them in your cars. We talked about the vial of life. We have found that not every accident obviously happens in your home. We're urging people to take a copy of this, put it near your registration in your vehicle. That way, or your golf cart, either one, wherever your main mode of travel is. Put it in there, that way if you're in an accident on a road or something like that, first thing a deputy sheriff's going to look for is your vehicle registration and insurance card, correct? We'll find that vial of life in there, and we'll know. So that's some great things, but I want to urge y'all to use all this stuff. It's free, costs you nothing, and like I say, if you register with us, as soon as the deputy sheriff gets that call, it pops up on his computer screen and says, okay, I know when I get to this house that there's going to be a vial of life in the refrigerator, and that's going to save me time. So please register for it, use them, everything's great, and any questions on it? So, yes, ma'am.
Well, we need to get a mic.
I'm sorry.
No, we need
Okay.
to get a mic because we need to be able to hear.
What was that app again for community crime?
Communitycrime.com. And it's also on our sheriff's office app. There's just an icon on there. You just push it and it'll take you directly to it. There's several app buttons on our app. There's several buttons. You can push any of them and it'll take you to whatever you want to see. Like if it's our most wanted, community crime map, inmate search, you can do all that. We had somebody looking it up the other day and says it was a group I was talking to. He said, inmate search. Oh, a dating site. They were kidding, but so yes, ma'am.
I just have a real simple question for you. Who are we supposed to call if we want, like, 911, but we want the police, not the emergency ambulance?
If you want, is it emergency, you dial 911. If it's a non-emergency, you just call the sheriff's office non-emergency number, which is 352-793-2621. And all that information is listed in this SAFE program.
Okay.
So, But we dispatch, we'll get the call first. If you dial 911, it's coming to us first, and then we transfer it over to the medical side.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And in your bag, there's a magnet that has all the numbers, both non-emergency and all that stuff for our offices. They have the city of Wildwood. They work the jurisdiction of Wildwood. So. It's why I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
The village of DeLuna is in Wildwood City.
And that's their jurisdiction.
So do we call them or we call you?
When you call the sheriff's office, we will direct it to what jurisdiction it is. So if you call 911 or the non-emergency number, once we have your address, it'll populate as to what jurisdiction you're within.
Okay.
And you're always welcome to just ask for the Sumter County Sheriff's Office, and we'll be the one that responds if that's who you want. So.
I'd like to thank both officers and staff for being here. Excuse me. As a member of Senior versus Crime, one of the things that we run into are people coming in with steam blowing out of the air and mad as heck against law enforcement because they've been swindled or lost a ton of money, and law enforcement won't handle it, and they'll tell them it's a civil case. And they don't understand that. Could you please address the difference between civil and criminal so people can understand it?
Absolutely. There's a lot of difference between civil. If you enter into some kind of contractual agreement, say a contractor is going to come out to your house and build, I know one of the popular ones going around right now is pool scams. You entered a contract and that gentleman's going to build you a pool. Well, he starts construction on your pool and you pay him $30,000 up front. Well, he shows up one time a month for something and he does very little work. That's a civil issue. And the difference is if he, you got to prove the intent to defraud for you. But anytime you enter into a contract, it's a civil issue. And that has to be taken up through a civil court process. So, and there is a big difference. A lot of people don't understand that. Say, hey, come out and took my money. Hey, I'm going to tell you a personal story of mine. I built a pool. Guy said, hey, 6 months, I'll have your pool done. Well, a year later, and the way he got around it was, under a contract like that, if they show up one day out of the month, and he would show up and say he swept off the pool deck, that's considered him working on my pool. So it was a big battle. So there's absolutely nothing you can do criminally to go after him. So that's where the civil matter falls in. Now, if he shows up, you give him money up front, and he just never shows back up again, then we got a better case to show that, hey, his intent was to defraud me of my money. So, and Seniors versus Crime, I'm going to give them props because they do a great job at what they do. They're an office of the Attorney General, and I tell you what, they do a great job here in the villages, all Sumter County, because they got divisions in Wildwood all throughout the county. And it is, if you ever have any issues, go see Senior versus Crime.
Under Sheriff Breeden.
Yes.
Over here.
Wait, oh yeah, there you go.
Ironically, I also have another story similarly. So
Everybody, this is Chief Deputy Chris Hayworth.
whether you're in law enforcement or not, when we were constructing our house here, we had a contractor that had a dispute with his partner, and his partner had, through my wife, had outsourced the roof to him.
Blame it on your wife. I see.
Yeah, I know I did. Don't tell her. But he went and started to do the roof. Now, this person is already on the list when you go to the EBD on the contractors list. He already was on the list, apparently. He went and ordered all the materials for the house, for the metal roof, and he did 1/2 section of my garage and stopped. He took all of the materials and paid the materials shop with a bad check, mind you, in Marion County. Never completed another thing on my roof. And there was nothing that we could do about it. Because what happens is we write the reports, especially in cases like this, and the state attorney's office has to review it in some cases, whether it's civil or criminal or not. And they viewed that as a civil problem, even though he defrauded the materials people with bad checks. And they still would not pursue it. So I had steam coming to my ears too, same thing. So it happens to us too.
And that's an area where Seniors versus Crime, if you're going to hire a contractor or you're fixing to have some work done, you can contact Senior versus Crime because they keep a list of contractors, if I'm correct, sir, that are worthy, reliable, and they keep a list of those that are not reliable. So Right, and some of these guys go around and they'll just simply change their company name, and I know Seniors versus Crime keeps up with a lot of that, so.
I had a question on, I go to Tampa a lot, I have family there, and right before Bushnell, you see two green and white Border Patrol vehicles there. Do they work with the Sumter County, and or what is their function of being on the I-75 sitting there? What
Border Patrol they are located throughout the state. They work human trafficking cases and illegal transport of illegal aliens. And we have worked, they're not assigned to us or work with us, so to speak, but we have done several operations in conjunction with the Highway Patrol and the Border Patrol as to where we target human trafficking and drug trafficking. But they're sir, nope, they just do patrol stops and random stops and Border Patrol, they go by different guidelines than we do, obviously, because they're a federal agency. So they looked for indicators as to what might be human trafficking. Yes, ma'am.
Where do you find this senior versus crime thing?
They're located one office is located in Wildwood. One office is located in the Village Annex at 466 in Morris. And where's all your other offices at? Or you got a contact number? He has booklets in the back that has all the offices and hours. So I know of the two in Sumter right here in Wildwood and one at our Village Annex. So
They're also printed in our bulletin every month. They run a column for us, and it has all their phone numbers. I also have a question. We had a very interesting presentation a couple of months ago by some representatives of the largest federal prison in the country. Many of us didn't realize that that was located right here in Sumter County. One of the things they talked about was their farm area that is not fenced. And with the growth of homes down there, I just wondered if you have seen increased activity. What thoughts do you have about the need for fencing? And over the years, what kinds of things have you seen occur there?
And to be honest with you, over the years, and what people don't understand is the federal prison property, we have absolutely no jurisdiction on. So that we got to get that right off the way. If they call us out there, we have no grounds to do anything on federal property. It falls under the FBI's jurisdiction, not the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. We have personally not had a lot of issues as far as people because it's unfenced or anything like that. You know, my neighbor is a federal corrections officer, and he says the biggest issue they have is that people figure out all kind of ways to leave drugs hidden for the inmates to get in there. That's the biggest problem we've seen. But as far as escapes or anything like that, I know the one in Coleman used to have a women's low security. They used to get out there and mow and all that. I think they've done away with the women's camp now. I think they have do have a low security men's camp out there. But you know, a while back, everybody said, "Oh, y'all had an escape from the federal prison." Well, no, we didn't. It was an escape. Somebody went to a halfway house in Orlando that had been assigned to the Coleman Federal Prison and walked off from the halfway house in Orlando. So it was an escape from there. But we've had no issues out there, and what issues they have internally, far as maybe fights with inmates or something, they deal with internally because that has nothing to do with our jurisdiction. So.
Anybody else? Okay.
Everybody just tired of here and is ready to get out of here?
I want to thank the Sumter County Sheriff's Department for coming.
And again, please use these apps. Take care of them. They're absolutely free. Download them. If you need help downloading them, see us at the back door. We'll help you get it on your phone, and we'll take care of you. Thank you.
And since Deb brought up the prison, 4 or 5 years ago, we had somebody from the prison, the warden, actually come and make a talk. Since we had somebody from the union talk about it a couple months ago, I'm trying to get the prison to come back and give their side of the story at a future date. It's not quite as easy as it was because they got a new regime, but we're working on it. I'm pretty sure we can convince them to come and give their side of the story. Thank you all for coming. We had donuts and coffee in the back. Yeah.
Can I have one more thing? Sure. One more thing real quick. We have a Safe ID card. Get a copy of this if you have an issue like autism or something. Put it with your driver's license and hand it to the deputy when they stop you. That way, they'll know the issue. So you can get these at our sheriff's office. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.